Hello, everyone, and welcome back. You're listening to Daily C1 English Vocabulary. My name is Emma.
And my name is Tom.
In today's episode, we're reviewing the words from days 14 and 15 of our learning series.
You'll hear 10 advanced words and idioms, with examples, collocations, and comparisons with similar words to make your English sound more natural and precise.
So, let's get started with our first word, pivot. Pivot can be both a noun and a verb.
In the physical sense, a pivot is the central point, pin, or axis around which something turns or rotates. Think of the pin on a door hinge, or the axis of a wheel, or a basketball player keeping one foot on the ground while moving the other.
Another very important meaning of pivot as a noun is a pivotal moment or turning point, the moment when a major change happens or when everything hinges on a critical decision or event.
For example, the meeting was the pivot of the whole project, deciding its future direction. The company's digital shift was a major pivot that saved the business. In this sense, pivot represents the crucial turning moment that changes the course of things.
As a verb, pivot means to dramatically change the direction or focus. It's not just a small change, it's a fundamental shift in strategy. For example, when the first product failed to gain traction, the startup decided to pivot and focus on a completely different market.
In business, when a company pivots, it changes its plan, usually because something isn't working as expected. For example, the startup pivoted from selling hardware to offering software solutions. Another example in a personal context. After 10 years in finance, she decided to pivot her career toward education.
Compared to change or adjust, pivot suggests a more significant or strategic change, not just a small tweak, usually in response to new circumstances or a setback. In recent years, you hear it a lot in technology and business news, often meaning a swift, necessary change to survive or grow.
Have you ever experienced a pivot moment in your life or work? Share your story with us.
Let's move on. Our next noun is burden. In the physical sense, it refers to something heavy, like a large sack. For example, the donkey was struggling under its heavy burden of bricks.
However, it is most often used metaphorically to describe a heavy responsibility, a difficulty, or a worry that causes distress. For example, the financial burden of medical debt forced the family to sell their home. Or, she felt the burden of being the sole caregiver for her elderly mother.
As a verb, to burden someone means to give them extra stress or responsibility. I don't want to burden you with more work. Or, we don't want to burden you with our problems.
Common collocations include a heavy burden, shoulder the burden, financial burden, emotional burden, carry a burden.
Burden helps us express the weight of challenges and duties in both everyday and formal English. It's a great word to describe when something is more than just a simple obligation. It's something heavy and important that affects your mind or spirit.
Compared to responsibility or duty, burden has a negative tone. It suggests something that feels hard or unfair to carry.
Moving on to today's verbs. Our first verb is reinforce. It means to strengthen or support something by adding material, evidence, or additional resources. In a physical sense, to reinforce something is to make it stronger. For example, the builders had to reinforce the bridge before it could handle heavy traffic.
But we also use it figuratively. It means to strengthen an idea, belief, or feeling, often by providing new proof or support. For example, the latest sales figures reinforce the belief that the company is on the right track. Or, her kind words reinforced my confidence. In military contexts, reinforce means to send more troops or supplies to strengthen an army or defense. Common collocations include reinforce a message, reinforce an idea, and reinforce security.
Compared to strengthen or support, reinforce focuses more on adding something extra to make the result stronger, like extra material, evidence, or encouragement. So, whether it's about making something physically stronger, supporting a belief, or boosting a group's power, reinforce is all about adding strength and support.
Our second verb is eliminate. It means to remove or get rid of something completely. It's about ending or stopping something unwanted or unnecessary. For example, doctors seek to eliminate the causes of the disease, or she's trying to eliminate junk food from her diet.
In a business context, the company plans to eliminate several layers of management to improve efficiency. In a sports context, the team was eliminated from the tournament after losing the final match.
Common collocations include eliminate risk, eliminate waste, eliminate errors, and eliminate barriers. Compared to reduce or decrease, eliminate means total removal. Not just less, but zero.
Let's take a look at our adjectives. Our first adjective is considerate.
It describes someone who is careful not to cause inconvenience or hurt to others, someone who is thoughtful and mindful of other people's feelings and needs. The word comes from the verb consider, meaning to think carefully about something. A considerate person is kind and polite, always thinking about how their actions might affect others. For example, she was very considerate to wait for everyone before starting the meeting. Or, it was really considerate of you to bring coffee for the whole team.
Compared to kind or polite, considerate focuses more on awareness, thinking ahead about other people's needs or feelings. It's not just about good manners, but about empathy and thoughtfulness. For instance, please be considerate of your neighbors when playing music at night.
Our next word is credible. It's an adjective that means able to be believed, convincing, or believable. For example, the witness gave a credible explanation of what happened means the story was convincing and could be trusted.
Credible information or evidence is reliable enough to be accepted as true. Like, it's hard to find credible information online these days. Credible can also mean good enough to be effective in a particular situation, like to secure funding, you must present a credible business plan. Common collocations include credible source, credible explanation, credible evidence, credible plan.
Let's look at the difference between credible and trustworthy. Both words relate to reliability, but with important distinctions. Credibility is about being believable based on facts, expertise, or evidence. Trustworthiness, on the other hand, is about personal integrity and honesty. It's built over time through consistent ethical behavior.
Credible is great when you want to emphasize believability and evidence. Trustworthy focuses on moral character and reliability. Moving on to our adverbs.
Our first adverb is drastically. It means something happens in a very extreme, sudden, or serious way. It describes changes or effects that are strong and noticeable. For example, the company's profits dropped drastically last year, or they drastically reduced their expenses to save money.
Think of it as a much stronger way of saying greatly or significantly. Drastically doesn't always have a negative meaning, but most often it's associated with something severe or difficult, like drastically changed or drastically cut. You can use it positively too. For example, her skills improved drastically, but many people prefer alternatives like dramatically or significantly for positive changes, since drastically can sometimes sound harsh.
So, drastically means a powerful and far-reaching change or effect, something that really stands out because it's so intense. So whenever the difference is strong or dramatic, drastically is your word.
Our next word is assertively. Assertively is an adverb that means doing something in a strong, confident, and clear way, so that people notice what you think or want. For example, she spoke assertively during the meeting to make sure her ideas were heard.
Being assertive means expressing your ideas, feelings, and needs directly and respectfully without being aggressive or rude. When you act assertively, you stand up for yourself with confidence and calmness.
Compared to words like firmly or strongly, assertively carries a positive connotation. It suggests confidence, self-respect, and clear communication, rather than just raw force. The team leader assertively presented their strategy to the board, leaving no doubt about the plan's potential.
Let's wrap up with two useful idioms. The first one is, go the extra mile. To go the extra mile means to put in more effort than is expected or required. It means going above and beyond what you have to do to achieve something or help someone. For example, she really goes the extra mile to make her clients happy.
This phrase is often used to praise someone's dedication and commitment. Compared to saying work hard or try hard, go the extra mile specifically highlights the additional effort given beyond the minimum expected standard, signaling exceptional service or dedication.
This phrase comes from a teaching of Jesus in the Bible, where he advised people to go 2 miles if someone asks you to go 1, meaning to do more than what is asked. Nowadays, it's a popular way to describe dedication or hard work that stands out.
And we'll finish with the idiom rule of thumb. It means a general practical principle, something that usually works, even if it's not scientifically exact. As a rule of thumb, you should save at least 3 months' salary in an emergency fund. Or, a rule of thumb is to arrive 10 minutes early for any meeting.
This phrase dates back at least 400 years to when people used the width of their thumbs as a rough measuring tool in trades like textiles. Now, it means any rough or general rule that is easy to remember and usually fairly accurate. So it's a useful phrase for sharing everyday wisdom in a natural conversational way.
And that's it for today's episode. We've covered pivot, burden, reinforce, eliminate, considerate, credible, drastically, assertively, go the extra mile, and rule of thumb.
Try to notice these expressions in real conversations, articles, or podcasts, and use them whenever you can. That's the best way to make them part of your active vocabulary.
Thanks for listening, and see you in the next episode.